what the hell, you're like, you're going to kill me. And so I shoot 2 times. I was on my knees trying to assist him. I was trying to do CPR on him with one hand. I was on the phone with 911. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. My neighbor stay with me until this.
This woman is no ordinary suspect. She is Amber Guyger, an officer with the Dallas Police Department. And the reason she's being interrogated will shock you to your core. Amber was already notorious for making offhand racist comments and passing rude remarks. However, on September 6, 2018, she took things way too far. In a shocking betrayal of her duty to protect, this so-called officer ended the life of a 30-year-old black man named Botham Jean, who was doing nothing more.
That opening is hard to listen to, not because it's chaotic, but because it's immediate. 2 shots, no warning, no pause. Before we even hear context, a man is already dying. And that's important, because everything that comes next is built to justify those 2 seconds.
And enjoying ice cream in the safety of his own home. However, instead of admitting her mistake, Amber would go on to weave an elaborate web of lies, only for her story to eventually fall apart, and karma giving her a tight slap of justice.
Before we get started, let me go ahead and read your mind rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent and not make any statement at all, and any statement you make may be used against you at your trial. Understand that? Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. Understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior to, and you have the right to terminate the interview at any time. Understand that? Okay. And these are your attorneys here, right?
Yes.
Would everybody identify themselves for me for the record?
John Snyder, it's S-N-I-D-E-R.
Robert Rogers.
Hey, can I get your name and date of birth?
Amber Guyger.
Amber, what I'd like to do is just kind of start with how your day started yesterday. If you would just start for me.
I wake up every morning, usually at 5:30, take my dog for a walk, get done by 6 o'clock, start getting ready for work. 6:30 I'm usually done. So I get uniform on about 7:15-ish. I go to work. I live about 15 minutes away as a drive. I do a lot of intel with our group.
Okay.
So we try to work on a lot of the solid prints. And so once we get once like our group and everybody gets as we get the intel, like stuff we're going to work on for the day, we go out and we work on that. Yesterday, Martin, my partner, and I jumped in the car about 8:30ish. So we've already looked at everything we're going to try to do for the day.
Right from the start, Amber began crying, as if consumed by guilt. However, it quickly became clear that her tears weren't due to remorse, but a tactic to gain sympathy and appear innocent.
About 12:30ish, we learned, we know we're going to assist SWAT in a warrant, so at 1:10, that's when we head up to Central. That warrant lasts a while. We're trying to find these robbery suspects that have been going through Mesquite, Palm Springs, Channel 7, to our channel. So about maybe 7:30, we're at Sterrett. McPherson's typed a report for 3 different arrestees. So about 8ish, we're done. We go back to the station, unload our stuff. About 8:15 to 8:20, I probably put my body camera up. So from there, I leave. Drive my home in 15 minutes. And I use my key fob to get in the garage. It's about, I'll say about 9:10, 9:15. And I go up. It's a circle garage. I go up. I'm 100% sure I parked on the 3rd floor. I was like, so I was lucky. Like I got a front spot. So it's like I didn't have to walk a long ways because that hallway I always walk down is so long. So I get out. down, make left onto the hallway where my apartment's at, and I put the key fob in the door. It's like the door is already cracked or something, so I push it, and I hear some movement around the apartment, and so I automatically draw my gun thinking somebody's in my apartment that doesn't belong there. I'm the only one that lives there. No one does. I pull my gun. I still have my bags and everything. I pull my gun out, and I see a dark body, like a silhouette, just standing in the very back. It's dark inside. I can't see anything. And so I say, let me see your hands. The person keeps moving around. I can't see where his hands are going. And so at that point, I feel like you're going to kill me. Obviously, you're in my apartment. I feel like you don't belong there, so you see me, you're going to be spooked and be like, shit, I got caught. And then at that point, he's moving, and he somehow ends up more towards the front of the or like the front portion of the counter, I guess, kind of closer from where he was. And to me, you're advancing, and I don't know what the hell you're, like, freaking probably you're going to.
Notice how detailed her workday is. Every timestamp, every task. When people lie, they often over-explain what feels safe: routine, structure, normalcy. But when we get to the shooting itself, everything suddenly becomes fear, blur, and instinct.
And so I shoot 2 times.
According to Amber, after she wrapped up her grueling 13-hour shift at 9:33 p.m., she headed straight home.
So
she was still on the phone with one of her partners. By 9:46 p.m., she reached her apartment complex, still deep in conversation, when she noticed something unsettling. Her door was unlocked. That's when she ended the call, entered the apartment, and heard movement inside. Fear gripped her as she assumed someone had broken in. Without hesitation, she drew her gun.
Former parole officer and University of Texas about parole on the same day they review an applicant, meaning it's unlikely Guyger would get out today, in a few weeks or a few months. We're told there are a variety of factors that go into granting or denying parole.
It's to sue her entire 10-year term, which is...
But there is just one devastating oversight. The apartment wasn't hers.
Friends and family described him as a kind young man who would spread kindness to those around him. He was a devout Christian, a member of the local church, and a cherished member of society. On September 6, 2018, Botham was sitting on his couch eating vanilla ice cream while watching TV in his living room. He was likely unwinding after a day of hard work, probably watching his favorite TV show, when he heard the door to his apartment creak open. The intruder had a gun pointed at Botham and was commanding him to show his hands. Understandably, Botham was terrified. He feared for his life. In the tense life-or-death situation, Botham decided hiding behind his couch was the safest option. However, before he could make any moves, the intruder aimed his gun at Botham and shot him twice in the chest. The intruder was Amber Guyger, a police officer at the Dallas Police Department, one of those paid to protect the community regardless of race, gender, or class. She had just cut short the cherished life of Botham Jean, likely due to her racist beliefs and emotional instability, as we would later find out. After Amber realized that she had just shot an innocent man, she immediately called 911 and attempted to give Botham CPR. However, it was far too late, and by the time authorities shifted Botham to the nearest hospital, he had already died. Days after the heartless murder of Botham Jean, an arrest warrant for Amber was...
Botham Jean wasn't an intruder. He wasn't advancing. He was sitting on his couch, eating ice cream, inside his own home. And that detail matters because fear does not excuse abandoning training, procedure, or basic verification, especially when you're armed.
Finally issued, and she was taken into custody. Amber was handed over to Texas Rangers, where they finally questioned her about what happened that night.
Hey guys, I'm Dave Armstrong with the Texas Rangers, Ranger Laura Simmons. Before we get started, let me go ahead and read your mind rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent and not make any statement at all, and any statement you make may be used against you at your trial. Understand that? Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. Understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior to and during any questioning. Understand that? If you're unable to employ a lawyer, you have the right to have a lawyer appointed to advise you prior to and during any questioning. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And you have the right to terminate the interview at any time. Understand that? Okay. And these are your attorneys here, right?
Yes.
Would everybody identify themselves for me for the record?
John Snyder, SNIDER.
Robert Rogers.
Hey, can I get your name and date of birth?
Amber Guyger.
Amber, what I'd like to do is just kind of start with how your day started yesterday. I guess on the 6th. Something like that, right? Okay. If you would just start for me.
I wake up every morning, usually at 5:30, take my dog for a walk, get done by 6 o'clock, start getting ready for work. 6:30 I'm usually done. So I get uniform on about 7:15-ish. I go to work, I live about 15 minutes away as a drive. Get to work about 7:30. Usually then we do a lot of intel with our group.
Okay.
So we try to work on a lot of the crimes. And so once we get the once like our group and everybody gets the once we get the intel, like stuff we're gonna work on for the day, we go out and we work on that. Yesterday, Martin, my partner, and I jumped in the car about 8:30ish. So we've already looked at everything we're gonna try to do for the day. About 12:30ish, we learned we know we're gonna assist SWAT in a warrant. So at 1:10, that's when we head up to Central. That warrant lasts a while. We're trying to find these robbery suspects that have been going through Mesquite, Ball Springs, Channel 7, to our channel. It takes a while they were all 3 stuck up in the attic. We eventually get them all out, and Martin and I, we transport our prisoner up to Jack Evans. Our other guys on the team transport them up to Jack Evans to robbery unit. That's close to about 5:15ish. So my partner at that point, he has to go take care of some family stuff. And so it's me, Helen Gard, our McPherson, and Bruce. We're at headquarters. And once robberies and everybody gets done, the gang interviews the 3 suspects, we all take them down to Blue Sterrett to go put them in. McPherson's the one who types the report, and at that point, after the interviews lasted hours. So about maybe 7:30, we're at Blue Sterrett. McPherson's typed the report for 3 different arrestees. So about 8ish, we're done. We go back to the station, unload our stuff. About 8:15 to 8:20, I probably put my body camera up, and I went back to the back. We all filled out our overtime cards. I did my computer work and did my activity for the day. About that time, it's 8:45. So from there, I leave.
The investigator starts by asking how her day went, and for the most part, it seems normal. But what's not normal is what she does when she gets home after her 13-hour shift.
Drive my home in 15 minutes. And I use my key fob to get in the garage. It's about 9, 10, 15. And I go up. It's a circle garage. I go up. The 100% I parked on the 3rd floor. I was so lucky. I got a front spot. Usually it's hard because I always carry my equipment. So I didn't have to walk a long basement because that hallway I always walk down is so long. So I get out, I go down, I make left onto the hallway where my apartment's at, and I put the key fob in the door, and I don't even have to turn it. It's like the door's already cracked or something, so I push it, and I hear some movement around in the apartment, and so I automatically draw my gun thinking somebody's in my apartment that doesn't belong there. I'm the only one that lives there. No one does. And so when I open it, I pull my gun. I still have my bags and everything. I pull my gun out, and I see a dark body, like a silhouette, just standing in the very back. It's dark inside. I can't see anything. And so I say, let me see your hands. The person keeps moving around. I can't see where his hands are going. And so at that point, I feel like you're going to kill me. Obviously, you're in my apartment. I feel like you don't belong there, so you see me, you're going to be spooked and be like, shit, I got caught. And so I feel like you're going to kill me, and I know you're going to kill me. And then at that point, he's moving, and he somehow ends up more towards the front of the or like the front portion of the counter, I guess, kind of closer from where he was. And to me, you're advancing, and I don't know what the hell you're, like, freaking probably you're going to kill me. And so I shoot 2 times.
To sum up, Amber left work at 9:33 p.m., ending her 13-hour shift. As she drove back, she was on a call with one of her partners when she reached her apartment complex at 9:46 p.m. She was still on call when she reached her apartment and saw the door was ajar. The call ended at 9:55 p.m. Immediately afterwards, Amber heard movement from inside her apartment and assumed someone had broken in. She immediately drew her gun, and when she saw the silhouette move, she shot twice into the pitch black. On the surface, everything seemed fine. All Amber was doing was trying to protect herself against an intruder, but there was one small problem here. The apartment never belonged to Amber in the first place. It was Botham's apartment. Botham lived in the apartment directly above Amber's on the 4th floor. Amber had just walked up an extra floor, ignored the glaring apartment number, and killed the innocent young man in the sanctity of his own home.
I walk in, and I'm still at gunpoint. I still have my gun out. And it's at that point when I get to the middle, I guess, the counter top, I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, it's not my home. I still have my gun out. I walk up and look at him, and I'm like, I holster up, and I call 911. And I let them know, whenever I call 911, I know at first said, I need EMS. And they're like, what happened? I was like, I need police. I was like, pretty much I need everybody. They asked me, what apartment number are you in? I was on my knees trying to assist him. I was trying to do CPR on him with one hand. I was on the phone with 911. So I walked back outside because I was like, I'm at 1478. I live at 1378.
The man Amber had just shot was Botham Jean, who lived directly above her on the 4th floor.
Believed he was an intruder.
Story,
a jury said.
This is where the story collapses. Apartment numbers, floor levels, furniture. A trained officer is taught to notice threats, but also surroundings. The irony is devastating. The moment she realizes it isn't her apartment is after the bullets are already fired.
Sentenced her to 10 years in prison, but now halfway through her sentence,
the obvious apartment number, and in a devastating error, shot an innocent young man within the very place where he should have felt safest.
And then at that point, once the other officers arrive, I hear them in the hallway trying to find me. So I step outside, and first officer I see, he rounds the corner on, I guess, on the east side of the building, whatever side they came on. I let them know he's shot somewhere over in here. That's all I can remember. And then they took me away. My physical days off are Saturdays, Sundays, but Sundays, that's the only obvious. You know, you're on the 5th or you're on the 1st, or you're on different floors that look different. Every floor looks the same.
Okay. Or is there assigned parking or anything, or you just
park wherever?
Now, as a police officer, Amber had been trained to notice the crucial details around her. Yet her explanation indicated otherwise. And that's exactly what was so fishy. How could she have overlooked the apartment number? The fact that she was on the wrong floor, the distinct doormat at the entrance, and the different furniture of the apartment. Her narrative was getting increasingly doubtful, suggesting
the hallway where my
there may have
apartment's
been an
at.
underlying
And I
motive
put the key
behind her
fob in
actions.
the door. I parked right in front of the door, kind of, because I was excited about getting a close spot.
What do you drive?
Dodge Ram 2014,
What color?
white.
Is that 4 doors or?
2 doors.
2 doors. Okay. So you get home between 9:10 and 9:15. And you said you were carrying your gear with you. What is that?
In my left hand, I had my heavy vest, my lunchbox. I walked down the hall, take my left, put my key in. The door, I don't even have to turn it. The door looks open. I hear somebody. I see a silhouette. It's far and back. I say, let me see your hand, let me see your hand. He doesn't do anything. Usually the typical person does this.
Mm-hmm.
They comply. He did start aggressive. He started going, hey, hey. And to me, you're yelling at me like, oh, you're about to do something. Or
Once again, her
I don't even have to
explanation
turn
seems
it. It's like the
bizarre,
silhouette.
as any intruder's
Just standing
first
in the very
response
back.
wouldn't be to
It's dark
say,
inside.
hey, hey.
I can't see anything.
The instinctive reaction
And
would be
so
to stay
I
silent
say,
or hide. However, for a regular guy who lives in that apartment, it would be entirely normal for him to panic and react like this upon realizing that an armed individual had just entered their home.
What made you fearful? I understand that,
in my home, there's an intruder.
Mm-hmm.
You're not listening to me. You're moving around. You're in the back towards the window, and then you advance towards like the front near the counter. So I still can't see your hands. You're not listening to me. You're gonna me. And their reaction, if you get caught, oh hell, I'm getting out. You're the one that's gonna be out of luck, I guess. Like I would have been the one that would have died. I thought he was gonna kill me. I really did.
When you were walking down the hall to this door, did you hear anything? Did you see anybody?
There was no one. It was quiet.
Okay.
When I put it makes like an odd, because I don't know how to explain the key. I'm sure y'all seen the key already, but it's like an electric magnetic key,
mm-hmm.
and it always my floor, everybody's floor, everybody has problems with their keys. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes your light flashes red, so then you have to put it in. You have to put the key in all the time. Take the key out, put it in again.
Have you ever done correct me if I'm wrong, when you're putting it in, I guess at the same time the door started to move?
Yes, that's what I mean. Like it's pushed up, like it's being pushed open.
Gotcha.
So.
Did you hear anything at that point?
That's when I hear him moving around.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, this guy, someone's going through my stuff, or I don't know what he's doing. And I was scared. I thought I was gonna die. I don't know what else here.
Can you describe what that movement sounded like?
Like shuffling around, walking around. And when I open the door fully, there's someone standing in the very back. And I just see a silhouette. It's big. So that's what I can get out. I couldn't tell you what the person was wearing. I couldn't.
Okay. And you said it was dark in there, is that correct?
It was dark.
Okay.
I turned on the lights whenever I walked back up to the front because I can't see shit. I can't see where he's hid.
Okay.
So that's when I turned on the lights and then went back over there, sat on my knees, was on the phone with 911. And then I hear the officers coming. Felt like forever, but I told them I'm over here.
While we can agree that floors may look similar, each apartment is distinct, filled with different appliances, furniture, and personal touches. Additionally,
I hate myself.
The former Dallas cop entered Botham's home thinking it was hers after she got off work and shot him, fearing he was a threat. Guyger is eligible for parole, and Botham's mother, Allison,
that she should not have opened the door or entered the apartment upon hearing movement inside. Instead, She was obligated to call for backup and assess the situation first. Also, it's common sense not to enter a place you fear you'll lose your life in.
Look at the seriousness of the offense, obviously. She been a model prisoner.
Family, friends, anyone disturbed by her son's murder to advocate denying Guyger free
threatening him not to move, his reaction was justified.
And then the apartment goes this way.
Okay, so I'm literally like this, like still on the metal portion part, and I'm holding the door. Going through the door frame, I'm holding the door open, and I see the shadow way back there, and that's when I draw. And I'm not trying to point at you. I said, "Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands." He was way back there. He ended up towards the armrest of the couch, closest to the kitchen, and I shoot 2 times. I'm thinking because he's moving around so much, he's not listening. People, when they say, "Let me see your hands," they're going to stop what they're doing. They're not going to continue moving. So,
in your experience, has that been the case usually?
He was in the back of, like, towards the patio door, and he ended up more towards the front of the, and that's, I guess, when all he was moving around. I was telling him, I was like, "Let me see your hands," and he was not giving me his hands. I feel like you're going to freaking pull something out and you're going to kill me.
What else how dark do you think it was?
There was a TV on, I want to say, maybe, and that's it. I knew where the light switches were because they mirrored the same light switches in my apartment.
Okay. And I guess, is that how you were able to see the silhouette because of the ambient light from the TV?
I must, yeah.
Okay.
Does light come in through the patio door, too?
I didn't see any.
Okay.
There was that TV.
Police officers are supposed to be trained to minimize risk and de-escalate situations, even when facing criminals. After all, shooting is meant to be the last resort. Yet
Ex-Dallas police officer Amber Guyger weeping on the stand, expressing remorse for killing her neighbor, at some points breaking down.
Convinced that the intruder was just waiting to kill her.
Hate myself.
Instead of attempting to
every single day.
The situation,
I feel like I don't deserve a chance to be with my family and friends.
Was the best course of action. Really? It's hard to believe she thought that shooting an unarmed man was the sensible choice.
When you shot, where were you standing?
Still in the door.
Still in the door. Same place what you
Still
just demonstrated. Okay.
The only reason I advanced is when I saw him fall.
Okay. And do you know if you used a one-handed grip, two-handed grip?
One-handed.
One-handed, and why is that?
Because I didn't even drop my stuff. I still had my stuff in my hand. So I guess it was helping, because those doors, they're heavy. And so it kind of was helping me hold the door open too at the same time.
Okay. When you're facing him, and he's back towards, I guess, the patio door, is he to your left as you're looking at him, or to your right as you're looking at him? Or straight on? Straight on. Straight on,
yeah.
Okay. What did he say? Did he say anything?
He said, hey, aggressively. And that's all he said. And I said, let me see your hands, let me see your hands.
Okay. Do you have a weapon lock on your pistol?
No.
Okay. When you opened the door, you told me what you saw, what you heard, and what you did. Did you smell anything when you were there?
I don't remember. I smelled the gunpowder. The halls smell like weed. The guy across the way from me smokes a lot of weed.
Okay. And did this particular hallway smell like weed?
Yeah, but they always smell like weed. It's nothing new. Okay. Everybody knows that.
Okay. So after you shoot, you said twice?
Yes.
Okay. You holstered up and walk me through that from there.
After I shoot, I still have my gun out. I walk midway to the countertop island, and I see he's down. So I get on my knees and holster up, calling 911, trying to do compressions and stay on the phone with 911. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. But stay with me until the it was my apartment. And I told him, and I couldn't even tell the operator, I didn't know what apartment number. I had to walk outside. that night. I just wanted to go home. I wanted to pick up my dog today. That's all I wanted to do. There was somebody in my apartment. My dog was. I told him I'm sorry.
You holstered up and you started doing CPR, is that right? Or some kind of first aid. Walk me through that.
I get down on my knees with my left hand. I'm trying to call that one. I'm just push. That's hard. He's a bigger guy, so it's one hand. It's hard. And I have been weak. Somebody's on the ground. I don't know. You want me to demonstrate how I was on my knees?
Just try to explain the question.
Just explain and show you do the hand movements.
His head's right here, and I'm just pushing down on his chest. And still gargling on one. I can tell I know he's hit right here. I don't know if he's hit anywhere else. I couldn't see. And so.
And how'd you know he was hit right there?
Well, I didn't know until I turned on the lights.
Okay. And can you describe him after you turned on the lights?
I couldn't tell you what he was wearing.
Okay. Did he say anything when you were working on him?
No.
Was he breathing?
He was breathing.
Okay.
Tell him to stay with me.
Have you ever been through an incident before, either on duty or off duty, where you felt like your life was in danger?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe one of those instances, or however many you feel free to?
On duty? I'm working Pleasant Grove. I have my gun pointed, and I'm saying, let me see your hands, let me see your hands.
Partner with whom she was having an affair.
So as this family...
It's 30s, late 30s.
This case is currently in the parole review process. Tonight, Ja's mother is calling for the public to write letters asking the parole board to deny.
She would spend hours retracing her steps the night she walked into the wrong apartment.
Uvaldo managed to take
whoever was inside my apartment was going to kill me.
Ultimately worked to her advantage.
Full word during court testimony today
Tell the jury what you mean by him.
was live.
Or a third party. Therefore, when Amber shot him, she was
when I see her,
with this background in mind,
just 2 weeks ago, we went out to visit the grave, and the family just...
So you had fired 2 rounds.
Fired 2 rounds at the doorway.
You were
I
approaching...
advanced up to that median that pokes it out, and I'm looking, I'm like, that is not that's not my couch. It's like, that's not my TV. And I know I gotta take care of this guy. I still gotta render aid to him.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until you got even with the kitchen counter, the counter that separates the kitchen from the living room.
Could you see any light from anywhere else before you turned on the lights? Besides the TV?
No.
Okay. How did you feel after, I guess, the scene settled a little bit? Describe that for me.
I was confused. In my head, that was my apartment.
Describe that for me. You say confused.
I was I guess the feeling of is this really happening to me? Is this happening? I wasn't expecting to go home. I wasn't expecting that outcome. I didn't know how to feel. And I guess my reaction was just try to stay calm for the moment, because I didn't want people out there just if everyone's freaking out. I was just trying to keep myself calm and not trying to worry myself.
Do you feel like there's anything you could have done differently to identify that was your apartment, or it wasn't, before you got into it?
No, because I'm comfortable going home. I do it, come home.
So is it fair to say it's just a routine that you're in?
Yeah, it's like brushing your teeth. You wake up, brush your teeth, go to the bathroom. So it's just routine, I guess.
Where'd you learn that from? Where'd you learn that, I guess,
structure.
Yes.
I was through, like, my sister, she could kind of be, like, late to everything, and I never hate being late. So I guess my mom and like, they brought me up to be on time. And it's just how I was brought up, I guess.
Okay. Were you in the military?
No.
Okay. College?
Yes, I went to school.
Tell me about that.
I haven't finished, I'm really close to finishing, but went to TCC, and then went to UTA. And so once I found out I got into the academy, I just wanted.
How long have you been with DPD?
Been higher on dates in November since 2013.
So a little below 5 years. Okay.
Going on 5.
If there's anything you could change about this, what would it be?
I can't change it. It was still in my apartment. I still felt like that guy was gonna. I wish she was alive. I can't take it back.
Can you give me a moment?
Yeah, you might want to step out.
Sure.
Greeted Guyger as she entered the Frank Crowley courthouse and made her way to the 7th floor, today wearing a light-colored suit and hair down.
10 years can never equal a stolen life.
To try and
Botham
keep
Jean didn't die because of a mistake alone. He died because fear overrode responsibility. This case forces a question we're still asking today. When those sworn to protect panic, who pays the price?
the trial in Dallas County, anticipating at some point the defense will
She claims she mistook Jean's apartment for her own after getting off work one day.
She isn't the only officer that took things way too far.